following Scotland's stirring 31-20 victory over England at Murrayfield in the latest round of the Six Nations Championship. The result felt both emphatic and symbolic. On paper, it was a bonus point win built on 4 tries to 2. In reality, it was a contest effectively decided inside the opening 20 minutes, a period in which Scotland played with ferocity and clarity while England unraveled under pressure. Here are the 5 major takeaways from a Calcutta Cup clash that may have lasting consequences for both sides. 1. England lost it early, and never recovered. Matches at Murrayfield often carry emotional weight. But this one was effectively settled before England had fully settled into their stride. The pivotal moment came just 8 minutes in when Arundell was shown a yellow card for a ruck offence. It was a needless infringement at a time when England needed composure. Scotland sensed vulnerability immediately. Within 2 minutes, Jones sliced through England's defence to score the opening try. The early blow was compounded 4 minutes later when Ritchie crashed over after Tommy Freeman was caught badly out of position. Scotland raced into a 17-0 lead before England had found their bearings. The defensive system that had underpinned a 12-match winning streak suddenly looked porous and uncertain. Arundell briefly offered redemption when he returned from the sin bin and powered over for a try in the 22nd minute. That score narrowed the gap to 17-7 and hinted at a possible revival. But any hopes of a comeback were extinguished before half-dash time. At 37 minutes, Arundell was again penalized, this time for a dangerous aerial challenge. The second yellow card upgraded to a red left England with 14 men for the remainder of the contest. They trailed 24-10 at the break and faced an uphill battle that bordered on mathematical impossibility. Against a Scotland side brimming with belief and playing with tempo, that was a deficit too large and a disadvantage too crippling. 2. Russell and White mastered the occasion. If England's discipline undermined their cause, Scotland's halfbacks elevated theirs. Finn Russell and Ben White controlled proceedings with intelligence and daring. Russell operated in the creative spaces that make him one of the game's most mercurial talents. He manipulated England's fractured defensive line with subtle footwork, delayed passes, and a willingness to attack chaos rather than structure. His chip that led to White's try was not premeditated conservatism. It was instinctive awareness that England's system was already compromised. White, meanwhile, dictated tempo from a base. His box kicking was precise, his distribution sharp, and his game management assured. He ensured Scotland played on the front foot when opportunities presented themselves and slowed matters when consolidation was required. Together, they orchestrated a performance that transcended Scotland's disappointment against Italy in their tournament opener. Instead of dwelling on that defeat, they channeled urgency and clarity into a display that dismantled one of the form sides in world rugby. Jones' second try in the second half further emphasized Scotland's attacking potency, while Ben Earl's late effort for England felt more cosmetic than consequential. 3. The aerial and breakdown battles defined the contest. Modern Test rugby is often decided in subtle exchanges, and here the aerial and breakdown contests told the story. Wings Kyle Stein and Tom Jordan won 12 of 17 contested high balls. That dominance translated directly into territorial control. Every lost aerial duel by England compounded into pressure, and Scotland converted that territorial superiority into points. In the midfield, Sione to Ipulota's physicality paired seamlessly with Jones' pace. Tommy Freeman, tasked with an experimental defensive role, was repeatedly exposed. Scotland identified the weakness and targeted it ruthlessly. The breakdown, Scotland's speed and aggression disrupted England's rhythm. The hosts recycled ball rapidly when in possession, preventing England from resetting their defensive line. Conversely, when England secured ball, Scotland slowed the ruck just enough to reorganize and counterattack. Statistically, Scotland completed 88% of their tackles compared to England's 77%. That disparity reflected more than just numbers. It captured the energy differential between the sides. The red card amplified these advantages. Playing with 14 men for 60 minutes at Murrayfield against a confident Scottish outfit was a mountain too steep for England to climb. For England's momentum management failed them. Perhaps the most damning aspect of England's performance was their inability to read the emotional temperature of the match. Trailing heavily and reduced to 14 men, England responded with cautious pragmatism rather than calculated aggression. Penalties were kicked at goal when tries were required. A drop goal attempt came with 20 minutes remaining and 2 converted tries still needed. It was decision-making that appeared divorced from the urgency of the scoreboard. When Scotland's scrum creaked and Xander Fagerson flirted with further sanctions, England opted for 3 points under the posts instead of pressing for a penalty try or another yellow card. The moment demanded risk. England chose restraint. This conservative streak has become a pattern. England's system functions well when opponents crumble under pressure. But when faced with resistance, their attacking ambition stalls. Against 15 Welsh players the previous week, they scored 3 tries. Against 14 Scots, they managed only 2. Momentum in rugby is as much emotional as tactical. Scotland embraced chaos and seized moments. England consulted structure and percentages. The contrast was stark. 5 Scotland's emotional intelligence carried the Murrayfield has a habit of magnifying Scottish belief, particularly against England. On this occasion, that energy was channeled into disciplined execution. Scotland did not merely play with passion. They combined it with precision. Jones attacked the gap left by Arundell's absence with ruthless timing. Ritchie exploited Freeman's defensive misread instantly. The back row trio of Ritchie, Rory Darge, and Jack Dempsey attacked rucks with ferocity that signaled intent. This was not reckless emotion. It was controlled intensity. The crowd's fervor added weight, but the players matched it with composure. Russell's flair was underpinned by calculation. White's tempo management balanced aggression with control. Even when England clawed back phases of possession, Scotland absorbed pressure without panic. Their breakdown efficiency and aerial dominance ensured that England's system never found sustained rhythm. In short, Scotland read the match better. They adapted to its unfolding narrative while England persisted with a pre-scripted plan. Implications for the tournament for Scotland. The victory relieves pressure on head coach Gregor Townsend and reignites belief in their campaign. Bouncing back from defeat to Italy with such authority underscores their resilience. For England, the defeat raises uncomfortable questions. They return to Twickenham next week to face Ireland national rugby union team, carrying both attacking and defensive doubts. The 12-match winning streak that had bolstered confidence evaporated under Scottish pressure. Positives were limited but present. Alex Mitchell maintained crisp service under duress, and Ben Earl's tireless carrying was rewarded with a late try. Beyond that, introspection looms. The broader concern lies in England's tactical identity. Their system is structurally sound, but the instinct to shift gears when required appears underdeveloped. Championship rugby demands not only competence, but emotional intelligence, the ability to sense momentum and act decisively. Ireland, under Andy Farrell, have demonstrated that capacity in recent seasons. They seize opportunity rather than calculate endlessly. England must rediscover similar urgency. Murrayfield exposed the gap between systematic efficiency and championship mentality. Against Scotland, England discovered that discipline lapses, conservative choices, and failure to read emotional tempo can dismantle even the most consistent run of form. Scotland, meanwhile, rediscovered their voice. 4 tries, territorial dominance, and relentless breakdown work ensured that this was no fluke. The scoreboard may have flattered England slightly, but the performance disparity was real. The Calcutta Cup remains north of the border, and with it, a reminder that in the Six Nations, belief and bravery often outweigh spreadsheets and systems.